Jake Virtanen and Braden Holtby signed 2-year contracts with the Canucks last October, with COVID preventing Canucks owner Francesco Aquilini from bringing in revenues from hockey games or other high-profile concerts at the large local hockey arena. Mr. Aquilini structured both 2-year deals to pay as little as possible the first year and as much as possible the second year. Virtanen's contract, for example, pays $1.7 the first and $3 million the second, almost twice as much. This would work out quite well if Jake or Holtby were taken by Seattle in the expansion draft or if they were traded. But now in 2021, the Canucks are near the bottom of their division, most likely missing the playoffs, though everyone except Toronto looks to be a potential trash fire. Rumors are spreading that Benning was shopping Jake hard, with teams like Anaheim, Boston, and Calgary kicking tires. Anaheim seemed to be the only serious trade partner, and a deal for BC boy Danton Heinen has been rumored. But Anaheim took a look at the big fat caboose on Virtanen's contract and said, "You can't sneak that big fat caboose past us." They wanted the Canucks to retain some salary, and Aquilini's rumored to have declined. Heinen makes $2.8 on the cap and $2.75 actual, but his contract expires this season. That's just one deal, but it points to a few things. One, it seems like most teams, other than Montreal Canadiens for some reason, are much more cash conscious, dealing with zero ticket revenues and a flat cap. 2, finding trading partners might be very difficult for the Canucks this season. So let's take a look at the Canucks UFAs as they flounder near the basement of their division. Sutter, Pearson, Edler, Benn, and Hamonic are all upcoming UFAs, and Gaudette and Jace Hawryluk are expiring RFAs. Sutter. His name and decent defensive play might convince a contending team to Sutterfy their fourth line, but $4.3 million, even prorated from the trade deadline, might be too large for most good teams to fit. If Aquilini is still unwilling to take back salary, he might be too difficult to move. But you never know. There's a lot of old boy GMs out there, and Sutter is a name they trust. Pearson. Old boy GMs love gritty cup winners who can score. I love Pearson too. But keeping him at the amount he should ask for probably isn't going to work. Maybe he can go try and win another cup at the deadline and come back in the offseason if he had a good time with Vancouver. The cap will still be flat then, and it seems like the mid to low tier forwards could get squeezed out. Edler. I think of Edler signing with the Canucks again as kind of a favor, a hometown deal, and I don't get the feeling that he wants to leave for a cup run. He hasn't yet. Also, his $6 million is higher than Sutter's $4.2, and he isn't a cup winner or related to the Sutter family. I'd love to see him get a run at a cup, but I doubt he moves. Ben. For GMs paying attention, Ben has played some great hockey considering his cap hit and his usual spot in the defensive lineup. He could be a semi-valuable piece for a contender looking for depth at a good price. Sharing a last name with Jamie Benn might raise his profile with the old boy GMs. Hamonic, a victim of the 2020 free agency squeeze. Hamonic was an absolute gift for the Canucks at $1.25 million, a team that desperately needed another solid top 4 defender. Sure, Hamonic struggled a bit to start, but he obviously had some rust, and really, who on the Canucks didn't struggle? He's recently looked a lot closer to a $4 or $5 million D-man. His ultra-low cap number and improved play could make him a juicy piece of trade bait. Tyler Mott is also an expiring UFA, but please don't trade him. I love Mott. I would have signed him to a 4-year deal at a low number last year. What more do you want from your fourth or third line? He's fast. He can score. He kills penalties. The coach loves playing him. He was a playoff hero. Why risk losing him? He's only 25, and he can grow with this team's star core. For RFAs, we have Gaudette and Jace Hawryluk. It was rumored that Gaudette was available for trade earlier. Not a great move, as his stock has never been lower. Gaudette saying he was suffering from a stomach issue that prevented him from putting on weight. The stomach issue appears to be gone. He has looked stronger, but I personally find he gives up the puck much too easy and doesn't look like he can ever handle that third-line center role. If the Canucks could somehow trade on his Hobey Baker history and his 45-point pace last season, he could be more valuable as a sub-$1 million cap hit and RFA status to some potential team. They could always just expose Gaudette in the draft to free up a protected spot, maybe even grab a vulnerable player from a team who has too many good forwards to protect. Those are my thoughts on the roster moving forward. What do you think?